A fish can already have your hook in its mouth while you're still waiting to feel the bite. Sometimes the only warning is one sideways tick in the line, a moving lure that suddenly feels like nothing, or a float that rises when every instinct says it should sink. If you're waiting for a hard pull, the bite can be over before you realize it started. These 7 signals cover lures, bottom rigs, and floats, and show you what to do when the bite doesn't look like a bite. Number 1. The line jumps or moves sideways. Whenever you let a bait or lure fall on semi-slack line, the line itself becomes your bite indicator. Picture a small jig sinking beside a dock. The rod tip barely moves, and you feel absolutely nothing, but the bright line where it enters the water suddenly ticks sideways. On an ordinary cast, the line feeds toward the water in a smooth curve. If a fish intercepts the jig and turns, it can jump or briefly straighten that curve before the movement ever reaches your hand. Your eyes receive the message first. When a sharp tick interrupts the fall, close the spinning reel's bail, the wire arm that controls line leaving the spool, and reel until the loose curve disappears. If the line keeps traveling or you feel weight against the rod, make one short controlled lift. Grass or a branch can bump the jig too, but they usually don't keep moving away with it. Get tight promptly and watch what the line does next. Number 2, the retrieve suddenly goes slack. Any moving lure creates some resistance. You may feel a spinner blade turning, a crankbait wobbling, or simply the steady pull of the lure coming through the water. Even if your hand has not learned that feel yet, you can watch the rod's working bend and the angle of the line. Then, halfway back, the rod straightens, the resistance disappears, and a loose bow forms in the line. Reel quickly until the bow is gone. A fish may have taken the lure and started swimming toward you, removing the pressure you were feeling. If the rod loads with moving weight, make a controlled sweep and keep reeling. If the lure's normal pull simply returns with nothing behind it, continue the retrieve. The important move is recovering contact before you decide nothing happened. Snapping the rod while several feet of line are lying slack on the surface sends almost no useful force to the hook. Number 3. The rod bends and doesn't spring back. 2 rods holding stationary bait rest securely beside calm water. A small boat wake reaches them, and both tips rise, dip, then return to the same position. A moment later, one rod bows farther than before and stays there. The bend deepens instead of rocking back. That sustained load is different from ordinary water movement. A wake creates a rhythm around the rod's resting position. A fish moving away with the bait pulls progressively farther, holds the bend, or keeps traveling in one direction. If the rig uses a circle hook, pick up the rod smoothly and begin reeling with steady pressure. Its inward curving point takes hold as the line tightens, so a snapping hook set can pull it away. With an ordinary J-hook bait rig, take up the slack and use a controlled lift instead. The signal is the same. The hook determines how you answer it. Number 4. The float rises or lies flat. A slim pencil float stands upright with a small split shot pinched onto the line below it. That weight supplies some of the downward pull holding the float in position. When a bluegill takes the worm and lifts the shot, some of that pull disappears. More float rises above the water, and a strong enough lift can roll it completely onto its side. Waves tend to rock the float and let it return. A fish is more likely to make it keep rising, tilting, or sliding away from its normal spot. As soon as that change becomes sustained, reel until the loose line is gone and lift the rod smoothly. Don't wait for the fish to carry the bait around. The float must be balanced well enough to show the change. A giant bobber on a tiny rig may barely react because it has all the sensitivity of a pool toy. Number 5. A soft plastic suddenly feels heavy. Some bites remove pressure. This one adds just enough to make the lure feel wrong. You lift a soft plastic worm off the bottom, let it settle, and begin the next lift. The hook point is tucked lightly back into the worm's body to reduce snagging. Instead of feeling the light weight of the rig, the rod seems connected to something soft and heavy. There is no sharp tap. The lure simply feels as if it landed on a wet towel. Extra weight can also be a branch or grass, but those tend to feel fixed or pull free in strands. A fish-held worm may grow heavier, pulse, or begin moving somewhere the bottom is not going. Check that change promptly rather than staring at the rod while the fish decides whether plastic tastes convincing. Lower the rod while reeling until the line is straight. If the weight remains, pulses, or begins moving, use a controlled, firm sweep. The exact force depends on the tackle, but a hook point tucked into the worm needs enough pressure to pull through the plastic. Number 6. The float only jiggles. A round float chatters 3 or 4 times but never travels. That often means a small fish is pecking at bait hanging beyond the hook, so stationary chatter calls for a different response than the sustained rise in number 4. Reel in and look at the worm. If the loose end keeps returning shorter while the bait around the hook remains untouched, use a smaller piece and leave only a short tail beyond the hook point. Now, a fish biting the easy end is more likely to reach the hook too. If the float begins traveling steadily instead, take up the slack and set the J-hook promptly. A jiggling float isn't telling you the hook is already in the fish. It's showing you that the fish keeps reaching the part of the worm your hook doesn't cover. Number 7. The weight arrives after the splash. A floating popper moves across the surface. Pop, pause, pop, and then the water explodes beside it. Your whole nervous system offers one immediate suggestion: yank the rod now. But the splash tells you only that a fish struck at the lure. A bass can miss, slap the popper, or push it aside, and an instant hook set may send the still visible lure flying away from the fish. The signal that matters comes a fraction later, when the lure disappears and actual weight bends the rod. Keep the rod down and resist that first reflex. If the line tightens and the rod begins to load, make a controlled sweep and keep pressure on the fish. If the popper is still floating inside the disturbed water, leave it there for a moment. A fish that missed may turn and strike again. Then resume the same cadence instead of dragging the lure out of the spot. That brief pause is not hesitation. It separates the excitement of a strike from the pressure of a connection. The splash tells you a fish tried, the weight tells you it succeeded. Most missed bites aren't invisible. They just don't look like the bite you expected. Learn the normal rhythm of your line, lure, rod, and float. When something breaks that rhythm, don't wait around for a harder pull. Get the line under control and answer it the way your hook requires.